Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining our first session for 2026. Who is here with me today? Who is here with me? Was anybody typing? Nobody's here as yet? Who is here? Type it in the chat. Remember, you have to subscribe in order to type in the chat, okay? I saw see one person again. It's a new year. I don't know the name, so you have to remind me. All right, I see Jenny, but that WVEY, I don't remember. I don't recall who that is. It looks familiar, but I'm not sure. Remember, guys, the usernames. I am not too sure who you are with some of these usernames because I'm sure you're using your parents' accounts. So it may very well mean that it may be somebody I know, but I'm not sure. All right, so some recent developments for the PEP exams. By now, you must have heard that you will no longer be assessed in social studies and science. So I'm sure a lot of you might be rejoicing. You have a lot of the pressure being taken off for grade 5. You only have 2 exams to do, the performance task in mathematics and language arts. For grade 6, you have 3 exams, ability test, language arts, and mathematics, all multiple choice. And for grade 4, you have your literacy and numeracy, no performance task paper. So I'm sure most of you might be very, very, very happy with the latest developments. As usual, please remember that you may sometimes see the delayed version, depends on when you join. Just try to skip all the way to the end so that you are at the point at which we all are. Good evening, Dwayne. All right, and so it's only Dwayne, 3 people. I don't see anybody else saying hello. Where are the other people who should be in the session? So I don't see anybody else that I recognize. Come on, guys, type your names in the chat or identify yourself so I know who you are. All right, I see Chanel, welcome. Xavier, okay, welcome. All right, so somebody said good evening, everyone. I see Arlene, but I don't know who Arlene is as it relates to a student. So welcome, Arlene. Anybody else? Doing roll call, Let's see who is present for today's session. All right. Somebody said testing. Raziel. Oh, okay. Raziel, I see you. All right. Testing. Okay. So, yes, you are on, sir. All right. So, remember, guys, for those who might be watching and you're wondering how is it that you can't type anything, you have to subscribe to the channel in order to be able to type. Okay, so make sure that you have subscribed, make sure that you have shared. The more the merrier. Okay, now, so because we no longer have science and social studies as part of the exams, okay, this is Andrea. Okay, this is Andrea McCullough. All right, welcome. Hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. So because we no longer have science and social studies as part of the PEP assessments for this year, that means for our sessions, we are going to be focusing on language arts, ability test, and mathematics. All right, Nathaniel, welcome, sir. All right. So if I've missed anyone, okay, grade 6. All right, so perfect. We might have a mixture of students from grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. And so I have questions that are applicable to all. So I'm not going to give all super hard questions that only grade 6 students can answer. I've made sure to include some that will be, on the level for grades 4 and 5 as well. All right, guys, so we are going to start. And when the others come, they should be able to join in. All right, Malachi is here. Malachi, you know what? Oh, I was supposed to send a message to your mommy earlier today. I forgot. All right, welcome, sir. Happy New Year. All right, so we are going to start. And our first, oh, by the way, guys, before I forget, remember last year we had said that we're going to be thinking of different ways to have our sessions and possibly having a session on Saturdays, not just a Sunday session, but also a session on Saturdays. We also want to make sure that it's a little bit more organized in terms of the questions. So going forward, I will give you a topic or topics that you can go study for so that when we come, we're answering questions based on those. The closer we get to the exams, we can start doing random questions again because you would have all been prepared for all the different topics, okay? So for next week, especially for mathematics, all right, for the language, I mean, it's neither here or there pretty much. But for the mathematics, I want you guys to practice measurement, okay? Everything measurement. So when we talk about measurement, we're talking about measuring time, okay? So you get some things that will have to do with time, also finding area, perimeter for regular shapes, which would be the circle, the square, sorry, not circle, well, circle for the grade 6 students, circle, square, triangle, all of those. Um, volume, what else comes under measurement? All right, so also you can look at the metric system too, because of course, in terms of measurement, and we're talking about area and perimeter and those things, we would be using those, but be able to convert from one unit of measurement to the other. All right, so everything that has to do with measurement, we're going to look at in that in our next session. So all the questions will basically come from that section next time. Okay. Chanel, oh, okay. All right. Good evening, Miss this person. I don't, besides, I don't know who you are, but welcome. All right. So let's get to the first question. The first question is a very easy question. It comes from language arts. All right. Remember, guys, try to think carefully and answer correctly. Easy, easy question though. Name the part of speech. And here's the word dog. Name the part of speech. The word is dog. All right. See, easy, 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 easy. Off to a good start. Everybody should get that one correct. All right. Yes, dog is a noun. Okay, very good. All right, one more language arts question. Here's another one. What part of speech replaces a noun? So, what part of speech replaces a noun? What part of speech replaces a noun? All right. So, let me see who is first with this one. Zaber. All right, you were first with this one. Good job. And the others of you, sometimes I know that you might be delayed by the ads, but I can't get rid of all the ads on the page. So just bear with those and just keep as soon as you're able to so you can get to the. All right. So remember, guys, Razel is saying now, but I'm looking at my list here. And the first person who answered pronoun, you were right. You were next, Razel. So the first person was Xavier with pronoun. All right. So the chat will tell us, because It's in a particular order. I'm seeing it in a particular order. So based on what I'm seeing, Zavir was first with pronoun. Let me see who was first with noun. All right, let me see who was first with noun. So yes, Brazil, you were first with the correct answer for the first question. All right, and Zavir was first with the second question. Okay, so let's go to mathematics. Mathematics. All right, let's go to mathematics. And that's easy one again. No, we're starting off very easy. Warming up. Okay, this is a warm up exercise. What is 348 plus 276? 348 plus 276. 348 plus 276. 348 plus 276. All right, let's see who's going to get this one correct. I see different answers, so we have to make sure that the correct answer. All right, so the first correct answer is by Crystal Walsh. I don't know the name of the student. You have to remind me, like I said, the usernames. Yeah. All right, so the correct answer is 624. All right, 624. That's the correct answer. All right, so that was by username Crystal Walsh. Okay, next math question. Another easy one. Another easy math question. What is half of 36? What is half of 36? What is half of 36? Listen carefully to the question. What is half of 36? All right, so half of 36. Janae was correct. The first correct answer, 18. So Janae, you ran away with this one. The correct answer is 18. Congrats to Janae. All right. So the next time, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep a score. And I'm going to see who is first. And perhaps I'll award a prize. If you're consistently first or based on your scores, your participation. Okay? So let those fingers get moving. Okay? All right. Ability test question now. Coming right up. See, when we had the science and the social studies, it was a little bit more interesting because we had so many different subject areas to choose from. But it's a good thing for you guys, I suppose. You have less to worry about. You can now focus on these areas and hopefully do well. Okay. You also want to remember too, guys, that even though it's multiple choice and yeah, it's easier, you have to remember that it's going to be a little bit more competitive. So you can't afford to make mistakes because multiple choice, you're going to get a lot of students getting very high scores. You want to make sure that your answer is carefully thought out, correct, so that you put the correct answer on the page. Okay? All right, so ability test. Here is the first one. And again, easy questions we're starting out with. All right? Which is heavier? Here's the question now. Which is heavier, a feather or a stone? Which is heavier, a feather or a stone? Which is heavier? All right. I see some answers coming in very quickly. And Bobette Ellis. I don't know who that is, but Bobette Ellis, you are correct. A stone. Yes, Bobette Ellis, a stone. All right, that's the correct answer. One more ability test question. One more. All right, here's a question. Which comes first alphabetically? Okay, listen carefully. So when we say alphabetically, basically how you would see it in the dictionary, all right? Which comes first alphabetically? Is it cat or apple? Very easy question again. Which comes first alphabetically? Is it cat or apple? All right. You see, I tell you now, easy question. Easy question. But sometimes when the question is easy, we can still make mistakes, so we still have to be very careful. And Dwayne, I think you were first with this one. So Dwayne, you were first with the correct answer, apple. All right, because A comes before C in the dictionary. All right, we are back to language arts. Let's see now. It's a little bit more challenging. Okay, not much, but a little bit more challenging. What part of speech joins words or sentences? What part of speech joins words or sentences? What part of speech joins words or sentences? Okay. All right, Janae, you are first again. So you are all correct. Conjunction. So it's all about who is quickest on the typing. All right, so the correct answer is conjunction. All right, one more language arts. This one might be a little bit more difficult. Just a little bit more difficult, okay? And maybe, I don't know, maybe the grade 4 students might not be able to answer this one, but let's see. What figure of speech is this? Remember, I didn't say part of speech, no, I said figure of speech, okay? What figure of speech is this? The classroom was a zoo. The classroom was a zoo. What figure of speech is that? The classroom was a zoo. I want the figure of speech. I'm not seeing the correct answer as yet. I'm not seeing the correct answer as yet. I'm seeing all sorts of things. One person is very close. All right. Waiting. All right. So Xavier, you are correct. A metaphor. What's a metaphor? Right? It's a direct comparison. So the classroom was a zoo. Comparing the classroom with a zoo. Okay. So the question was, what figure of speech is this sentence? The classroom was a zoo. Okay, and the correct answer, a metaphor. Like I said, guys, remember we have varying degrees, so I have to be able to spread out the question so that each person is able, or each grade level is able to get something for their level, okay? So sometimes the questions will be easy, sometimes not. All right, so we're gonna go now to, yes, so you have to, all right, if yours is delayed, you have to just try to skip ahead. If you're hearing this at this time, just skip ahead. Make sure you are at the very end of where we should be, okay? Just skip ahead. Sometimes you get delayed because of the ads, And sometimes you perhaps would have joined late, so just try to skip away all the way to the end. All right, let's go now to mathematics. All right, so remember, sometimes the questions will be easy, sometimes not. All right, so here is a question. What is 36 times 7? 36 times 7. What is 36 times 7? 36 times 7. Okay. All right, I see some different answers here. The correct answer is 252, and that correct response was given first by Gary Neek, folks. So that would be the correct answer, 252. All right. Yes, 252. Gotta be quick. That's why we have to learn those multiplication tables, Have to learn those tables. All right. Here's another question. Here's another question. Perimeter. We're going to find the perimeter now. What is the perimeter of a square with sides 6 centimeters? What is the perimeter of a square with sides 6 centimeters? What is the perimeter of a square with sides 6 centimeters? Okay. All right, so the correct answer, 24 centimeters. Remember, guys, units of measurement, always make sure you have that on your answer. You need to ensure that you're giving the complete answer. All right, so that one also goes to Gary Neek, first with the correct answer. Let's go back to ability test. Remember, ability test sometimes will be closely related to language or mathematics for the most part. So let's go to the next question. Listen carefully though, listen carefully. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow we have regular class, Gary. Okay, only on the weekends we will do the live sessions. Tomorrow we have grade 6, and for those who are joining now, the students, some of you will get a break tomorrow. The grade 6 students will have their language arts tomorrow, okay? So only grade 6 students will join for the language arts tomorrow. I'm going to be sending out the links later today. All right, so here's the next question, ability test. Which comes last alphabetically? Remember, I asked which comes last. Last. So which comes last alphabetically? Dog, cat, bird. Which comes last alphabetically? Is it dog, cat, or bird? Which comes last alphabetically? All right. So again, we have to make sure we listen carefully. The correct answer is dog. That's Gary Neek again. The correct answer is dog. All right. One more ability test, and then we go back to language arts. One more, then we go back to language arts. If all birds have wings and a parrot is a bird, Does a parrot have wings? If all birds have wings and a parrot is a bird, does a parrot have wings? Okay, yes, the correct answer is Garanique is. I wonder, Garanique, what grade are you in? Because you're very quick with your answers today. Which grade are you in, Garanique? Malika, you say you keep getting grade 6. Okay, maybe that's why you have a little bit of an advantage there. All right, so Malika says he keeps getting second. All right, so let's go back to language arts. Language arts. Let's do one easy, one not so easy. All right, so let's do 3. I'll try to do 1 for each grade. So here's another one now. Which punctuation mark shows excitement? Thank you, Garanick. Which punctuation mark shows excitement? Okay, so some persons just put the symbol and some persons wrote the word. So 4 besides, I don't know who that is, but you were first with the symbol. And I guess that's why you would have been able to get it first because you put the symbol. All right, so that is correct. And the Dwayne was first with the actual word. So 4 besides and Dwayne, congrats. All right, yes, the exclamation mark, okay? One more from the not so hard. All right, here's one now. Which punctuation mark is used in direct speech? Which punctuation mark is used in direct speech? Direct speech. Speech. You hear the word speech? I see the correct answer. I'm just waiting for some of you seem to be having all right, so Garanique, you are correct. I think somebody else was trying to spell it, but not so well. The quotation, talk about direct speech, so you would enclose what somebody actually said. All right, so that's what we mean by direct speech. So you put what the person says in quotation. All right, so quotation marks, that would have been the correct answer. Okay, quotation at full stop. Okay, so remember we're talking about direct speech, what somebody said. You enclose that in quotation marks. All right, one more language arts question. I hope you guys are learning from this too, so even when you might have not got the correct answer, I hope you learn so that the next time you remember these things and you're able to use them. All right, here's another one now, a little bit harder. Well, not necessarily, not because it's the same things that we've been doing, but you just need to pay attention. All right, next language arts question. What part of speech modifies a verb? What part of speech modifies a verb? What part of speech modifies a verb? And I bet Malika is going to say, oh, I come second again. All right. So yes, Garnick, you are first again. So the correct answer is adverb, right? And usually the adverbs end with ly, right? So it tells us something about the verb. Okay, so that's what it means by to modify the verb. Okay, so the correct answer, adverb. So again, that's one of the parts of speech. There are actually 8 of them, so you guys need to, if you're not sure, try to see if you can identify all 8. Okay, back to mathematics. Let me see all those who like mathematics. If you like mathematics, put an M in the chat. Somebody said me kinda. Me. So you're not following the instruction now. I get this one wrong. I said put an M in the chat. Oh, Jabari, you're here. Okay. I only needed to say it one time. All right, very good. Welcome, Jabari. Okay, so let's go with the mathematics questions. Again, I'm going to try to answer, an easy, not so easy, and so on. All right, here's an easy one. Easy one. Listen up, so stop typing now so that you guys can get ready to answer. What comes next? 5, 10, 15. What comes next? 5, 10, 15, blank. All right, so the Kiva, I don't remember the name of the student using Kiva Green. I know the parent, I know the student. I don't remember his name. Somewhere in my thing. Yes, so you are a little bit behind, you're a little bit delayed. So once you hear this, try to come ahead because you're a little bit behind, okay? So, oh, yes, I guess you've caught up now because you've given the correct answer. Antoine. I think Antoine, is that the name of the student? Antoine? All right. So that is correct. 20. Who was first with the 20? Let me see. Liam, welcome. Who was first with the 20? Let's see. Garnick again. All right. So, guys, Garnick is the one to beat. No, they're very quick on the fingers, so you guys have to try to see if you can. I mean, it's a competition, but it's very healthy competition, okay? Nothing for us to get all upset about, but just try to see who is going to be the fastest, all right? If you're all getting them correct, that means you'll be getting them correct on your exam, so that's good. All right, here's another question. This one is a little bit more difficult. So this might be for the grade 6 students, but who knows? Maybe somebody else can answer from grade 5 as well. Convert 0.75 to a fraction. Convert 0.75 to a fraction. Convert. So we're changing from decimal to fraction. Decimal to fraction. Still not seeing the correct answer. All right, so the first, let me wait for a few more responses. I see the correct response, but I'm just waiting for some other people to, okay. What? Garonique says she don't know, or is it a he or a she? It must be a she. All right, so the correct answer is given or was given by Zaber. She, okay. All right, so that is 3/4. Somebody said, well, that is not necessarily what he said, 75. So I guess it would have been 75/100, which would have been a correct fraction too. With 3/4, that was the first correct answer, so you are correct. All right, 3/4. All right, that's the same as 0.75. 75 out of 100 is the same thing. All right, so Gary, this is not an actual teaching session. This is just question and answer. But what you want to write down so that you can go practice or you can join our math sessions is how to convert from fractions to decimals or from decimals to fractions. Okay, so that's a topic that you want to discuss. And perhaps that school teacher might be able to tell you before we get back here for another session, okay? Not really here for teaching today because we do have our classes that we do our content in. Sometimes I give an explanation, but I don't want to do too much of that because we have classes. All right, next math question. Next math question. What type of angle is smaller than a right angle? What type of angle? We finish at 6:30, 1 hour. What type of angle is smaller than a right angle? Okay. Okay. What type of angle is smaller than a right angle? All right, just waiting for a few more answers. It seems as if Malachi combining two angles into one. All right, but the correct answer was given by Xavier, and that is an acute angle. All right, so remember the right angle would be 90 degrees. The acute angle would be any angle that measures less than 90 degrees. So whether it's 89 or 70 or 13 or 1, then that would be an acute angle. All right. Antoine, you don't like mathematics, you better pay attention. All right. So yes. All right. So that's another math question. Let's do one more. All right. And the thing is, sometimes, guys, but the subjects that you are not very good at, that's the one you want to spend some time and make sure you learn something, because you can't get away from it. You cannot get away from it. So we better join it and try to learn it as best as possible. All right. Here's one more now with angles. How many degrees are in a straight angle? Yes, Antoine. How many degrees are in a straight angle? How many degrees are in a straight angle? All right, so I see the correct answer. The correct answer was given by, let me see, Garanique, and the correct answer is 180. Remember that 90 would be a right angle, so 180 is for the straight angle. Okay. All right, so let's go back to ability test. Ability, let's go. Ability. All right. Here's a question. Which number does not belong? I'm going to read out a set of numbers and you're going to tell me which one does not belong. 12, 18, 24, 25. Which number does not belong? 12, 18, 24, 25. Okay, the correct answer. Malachi says second again. Well, not necessarily second, Malachi. You are about fourth this time. Because I think there were quite a number of people who were before you. Garanique, and then Janae, and then Leslie Parkinson. I think that's what Liam. I'm not sure who the person is again. All right, so all are equal numbers. What do you mean by equal numbers? Even numbers, and they are all multiples of 6, multiples of 2, 3, all of that good stuff. All right, so let's do one more ability test. One more ability test. Which word does not belong? I'm going to give you a list of words. You're going to tell me which one does not belong. Apple, banana, carrot, mango. Which one does not belong? Apple, banana, carrot, mango. Okay, so Razil is first with this one. The correct answer is carrots. All right, the others are fruits. Carrot is a vegetable. Okay, here's an easy one. So you're just gonna have to be quick on your fingers now. If today is Monday, what day is tomorrow? If today is Monday, what day is tomorrow? Okay, Brazil was first with that one. Tuesday, even though he didn't write out the word, don't know what he was trying to say. All right, so the correct answer is Tuesday. Back to language arts. Back to, and you see the thing is now, grade 5 students, you have it a little bit harder than the others because you have to write a whole essay. So you make sure you learn how to write your essays, okay? Use up your parts of speech and your punctuation and all that good stuff in your writing. All right, easy language arts question. What is the plural of child? What is the plural of child? What's the plural of child? Nathaniel, you're a little bit behind, so you're gonna have to catch up because you're saying Tuesday, we are a little bit past that now. Make sure you guys are at the very end. Look to see that red line and see where you're at on the red line. Just go all the way to the end. All right, children, that is correct. All right, next. Next. What figure of speech gives, and you know why I'm asking these questions, because even in your multiple choice for grade 6, you are going to get some passages sometimes, like a comprehension passage, and then they'll ask you to give the figure of speech that's, or identify a word, figure of, so you have to know these things, okay? So what figure of speech gives human-like qualities to objects? What figure of speech gives human qualities to objects? What figure of speech gives human-like qualities to objects? Gary needs such to think. Yes, person. Since from there, hear the word person, human, person, so personification. Right, that's the word, personification. So it gives human qualities. So if you hear that something that's like a tree dancing, right? Trees can't dance, but that's personification. You're giving it a human quality. Or you hear that um, the window cried, right? A window can't cry. So all those would be given human-like qualities to objects. Okay. All right. Let's go to another language arts. Language arts. Let me see now. What is the past participle of write? As in WRITE. Right. What is the past participle of write? Written. Okay, so the past tense, in the present tense, we say write, past tense, we say wrote, and the past participle, written. Okay, so the correct answer would be written. All right, so that has to do with the verb tenses. All right, mathematics. Yes, it is written. Nikki Holiday. Mathematics. I want you to round round 4,682 to the nearest thousand. You're going to round 4,682 to the nearest thousand. Okay. You typed wrong, Brazil. Okay. All right, so Jenny was first with the correct answer, 5,000. So 4,682 is closer to 5,000 than it is to 4,000. So it's round to the nearest thousand. 5,000 is the correct answer. All right, let's go to an easy one. Here's an easy question. How many minutes are in 1 hour? How many minutes are in 1 hour? Oh, Nikila, okay. How many minutes are in 1 hour? So again, if you're hearing me, Antoine, when you get to this point, make sure you slide to the very end or ask mommy how to do that, because you are answering questions that we have gone past already. So make sure you slide the thing all the way to the end, so you're seeing the very latest information, okay? All right, just in case you're hearing me when you get to this point, that's what you should do. All right, and anybody else who might be at this point, you're not sure if we're where we at, just slide it all the way to the end. All right, so the correct answer is 60. Let me see who got that first. Did I say? Because I was paying attention to what? Let me see who got 60 first. All right, that was Raziel. Okay. All right, one more math question. One more math question. What is the area of a rectangle? Listen now. What is the area of a rectangle 9 centimeters by 4 centimeters? What is the area of a rectangle 9 centimeters by 4 centimeters? Okay, let me see who is first with the correct answer. And that would be Jenny. All right, so Raziel, you have to put centimeters squared or else it's not area, sir. Has to say centimeters squared. So the correct answer is 36 square meters or 36 centimeters squared. All right, you have to ensure that's there or your answer is incomplete. Okay, one more math question. One more math question. What is 1,200 minus 685? What is 1,200 minus 685? 1,200 minus 685. What is 4 besides? What are you saying is too hard? The subtraction question I just gave? 1,200 minus 685? And sometimes what you can do, if you don't think you're going to get to answer fast enough, just still write down the question, all right? And in your own time, see if you'd have been able to answer. When this video say tomorrow or the following day, you can always come back and see if your answer was correct, okay? Sometimes it might be a little bit too much going as fast as some of these students are going, okay? But just write it down and see if you'll be able to answer it correctly in your own time, okay? Don't get put off by who is answering correctly first. Okay, sometimes some of them are very quick, but sometimes they are too quick and they make mistakes. So you just take your time and do it as you can. All right. It's not about speed, it's about accuracy. Okay. Sometimes it just means you have to take a little bit more time. One more math question. So the correct answer is 515. 515. Who was first with that correct answer? Let me see who was first with 515. Oh, Xavier. Xavier was first with that correct answer. All right. Listen to this one now. Another angles question, okay? What type of angle is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees? So, Jabari, say you were fifth. What type of angle is greater than 90 but less than 180? Malachi! Malachi! Malachi, you are first this time. See, and Malachi is in grade 4 and he was able to answer that one correctly first. You see, some grade 4 students can do very, very well. So Malachi was able to answer that one correctly the first time. All right, I see Shani. Is that Kiana? Welcome if that's you. All right. Let's see. One more math question. One more math question. This one might be a little bit difficult. So those who are going to say it's too hard, don't worry, just listen. And maybe you learn something too, okay? What is the next number in this pattern? 3, 9, 27, and then what? Blank, right? So 3, 9, 27, blank. 3, 9, 27, blank. What's the number that comes next in that pattern? 3, 9, 27, what? Brazil, what? Okay. All right, so the correct answer is 81. 81. And that first correct answer was given by Xavier. All right, let's go back to some. We're getting close to the end now, guys. And it was good to see that so many of you came out today, our first day back, but you're still not inviting your friends. I'm still seeing the same people I see all the time. I'm not seeing anybody new that's gonna tell me that, oh, Jabari invited me, or Razil invited me, or Chanel invited me. I'm only seeing the same people. That means you're not telling your friends. Oh, you're new? Okay, welcome. Who invited you? I don't remember the name you gave me for this person. Was it Liam? Joshua was already here. You can't invite Joshua. Joshua is already here. Joshua needs to come back. That's the thing. So who invited you, Liam? Said you're new. So you can't invite Joshua. Omera, I don't know that name. I don't know who that is. Oh, you're new to Garanique? Who invited you, Garanique? Or did you just know to come on based on the videos that you're watching? Who besides, who invited you? Come on, I need to tell me so I can know who is doing the work. So we have so many new people here today. I don't know who invited you, or if you just saw it online and decided to stop by. All right. Here's a question. If 5 books cost $1,250, how much does one cost? So 5 books cost $1,250. How much does one cost? Oh, you say you know what to come on, so nobody told you to come on? None of your friends from school, or your parents, or you just went online and saw it? One book, if 5 books cost 1,250, how much does one cost? Oh, that's, I have to give a thumbs up to your teacher, man. That's nice. Teacher doing a good job. Tell teacher I said hi and thank you for sharing, okay? Let her know I said thank you for sharing. Okay. All right. And I will be putting out some more videos. I should have done so today, but I got caught up. But especially for the grade 5, I think I don't have enough content on YouTube for the grade 5. So I'm going to be putting some more of those practice papers on as soon as I get some time. All right. So the correct answer is 250. Who was first with that correct answer? Let's see. Janae was first. All right, Janae was first, 250. All right, so let's do one more round. So when I mean one more round, we're going to do 2 more language arts, 2 more mathematics, 2 more ability, and then that's it for today, okay? Nathaniel. Oh, she saw last year. Okay, all right. So Nathaniel, all right. Nathaniel invite. All right, nice. That is lovely. All right, so let's go to a language arts question. It's not 240, Garnick, all right? So you're going to be dividing 1,250 by 5, okay? So when you divide that by 5, you should get 250, all right? Because in 1,000, you have 4 250s in 1,000. And then that extra 250. That makes 5. All right. Here's another one now about figure of speech. Which figure of speech uses like or as? I hear, see, Antoine keeps saying too hard. What is too hard, sir? All right, I think you're in grade 4. So, yeah, some of it might be a little bit challenging for you. All right. What what figure of speech uses like or as? Okay, good. Simile. That is correct. Simile. All right, so simile uses like or as. So that's one language arts question down. One more, and then we move on to mathematics. And thank you again, all of you, for joining today. And I expect to see 50 people next time. 50. So each person will invite at least one person. All right, what is the plural of mouse? What's the plural of mouse? So with all that typing, Razil, you were still able to answer first? After all that typing, Razil was still able to answer correctly first. That means others might not have been paying that. Chanel? Okay, I see you, Chanel. And the others, all right. So yes, the correct answer is mice. 4 besides, you said you were first? I think I saw Razil first. Let me check back again and see. No, I think it's Razil that was first with that one. All right. So remember, it's not only about who was first. Just doing that little bit to just add a little bit more excitement to it. But as long as you get the answer correct, that is awesome. Okay. So they get the answer first, second, third. On your paper, you would have gotten it correctly, and that's the most important thing. All right. So let's go to mathematics. Mathematics. All right. Easy one first. Easy one first. What is 3 times 4? Can't get no easier than that. What is 3 times 4? So anybody said that is too hard? Okay. 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 All right. So when you're at least in grade 4, you should be at least up to your 7 or 8 times by now. So if you're not yet there, you need to get up to speed. Okay. All right. One more math question. A little bit harder this time. Because remember, grade 6 mathematics is no joke, so you guys have to be very, very ready on the ball, okay? So I have to give you some that's up in your alley so that you, all right, here's a tricky one now. Here's a tricky one. So pay attention, pay attention. Which is greater? Which is greater? The others have had to, Nikayla, not just you. So you have to be able to click it off quickly. Don't wait for the added page. You can always skip it. All right. Which is greater? 2.35 or 2.305? Which is greater? 2.35 or 2.305? I know some of you are not very good with decimals, so you're going to make a note of decimals and learn all you can about decimals. So which is greater, 2.35 or 2.305? All right, let me see who is first with the correct answer. The first correct answer was by Janae, 2.35. Okay, so 2.305, if you rounded off that to two places, then it would have been 2.31. And so 2.35 is more than 2.31. Okay, so the correct answer is 2.35. That is the correct answer. Razil, all of you will find answers. It's not just for you or the other persons, and they are random. They are not necessarily all getting the ads at the same time. That's a disadvantage. But just quickly skip ahead and you'll get it. All right, so two more questions, and then that is it for this evening. I still have to make a decision about the Saturday session, but remember what I said about the mathematics, but you're supposed to be looking at measurement. Okay, so how we measure time and we'll find area, perimeter, volume, all of those. All right, so let's go to the first ability test question. Which object rolls, a box or a ball? Which object rolls, a box or a ball? Easy giveaway now. Nobody can say that one is too hard. That was so easy. That was so easy. All right, last one. Last one. Last one. Let me see if I can find one that we can use for the last one. And I'm going to make it easy because we just want to finish on a positive note. So the last one is, which does not belong? Red, blue, green, circle. Red, blue, green, circle. Which does not belong? Red, blue, green, circle. All right, so let me see who was first with this one. Brazil was first. All right, so good job, everyone. You did you did very well today. All right, and I appreciate that you guys behaved yourself well today. We didn't have any issues today, so thank you for keeping it nice and clean. Malika, you can't trust me. You're doing very well. You were right there in there with all of them. But remember, you're in grade 4, so some of the things will be above your level, but you did very well today. Okay, so don't worry about that, and you will get better each time. All right, so okay, all right, you seem to be doing very well, Garinick. You just need to make sure you work on the things that you're not too sure about, and I'm sure that there are some things that teacher will still have time to teach you before your exam start, but you are doing very well as well. All right, so guys, all the best for the rest of this week. And remember to practice, practice, practice. You can't find your pencil. Antoine said you can't find your pen. I can't help you with that, Antoine. All right, so That's it, guys. I will see you next week. Make sure you guys come out early and bring a friend. Share with a friend. All right. Thank you so much, Liam. I hope it will continue to be fun for you. Emma, it will. Oh, if I get no, I'll have to work. I can't promise that I'll post a new video tomorrow, but sometime this week I'll get it done. All right. So I'm trying to get all of those class playlists up to scratch. All right, guys, gotta go. See you next week. This. So I was reach through the screen. I have to find a bed. All right, I'll do that. Okay, or maybe you're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to send you Razil to go and help you. All right, bye bye. Bye, guys.